What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another bonus balance update review. And today we have 11.9 bonus balance, and it goes live in 3 days, which is a little odd, although it kind of makes sense with them putting all of their eggs in Smite 2. Not all their eggs, but they're paying attention to Smite 2 more than Smite 1, and so it might take them a few extra days, maybe. I'm assuming that's what it is. Because usually they do drop it either the day of or, the following day. But today is the 16th. Posted 9 hours ago, and it'll be live September 19th, which I believe is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Will be Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday, yeah. It will be Thursday when this drops. So do have a couple days to figure out, or at least test out, feel how the patch is before and after. As I said before, usually it drops like the day of. So we'll get a better understanding of that. But as per usual, the URL/link will be in the description down below if you'd like to take a look at the patch notes yourself. But let's get into this. A lot of the big things in Smite 1, I'm really only paying attention to Joust rather than Conquest, as I feel like Smite 2 Conquest has kind of taken over the idea of playing Conquest at a competitive level. At least I feel like that's where most of like the high-end gamers are at currently. Obviously, I don't know. It's what it feels like. So I'm not too privy to like all the specifics in terms of Conquest meta. So we'll see how that is. But I do know Joust is still popping. There's no Joust in Smite 2. So you can only play Joust in Smite 1. So all the Jousters are really only playing Smite 1. So a lot of people in, sort of. People who like Joust are still in Joust. A lot of people in Joust have moved over to Smite 2 Conquest. But regardless, let's get into this. So, live September 19th, we shall get into this. So, going straight into gods. Usually they do items, then gods. I wonder if there's no items. We'll see, though. Starting off with some nerfs. We're nerfing Anubis. I do know that he's gotten some decent buffs, but I'm going to be honest, at least in Joust, not very good. In Conquest, maybe? I don't know. He just seems so open and free that I just don't feel like he's all that impactful, really. But, all right, let's see. Grasping Hands, that's his 3 increased cooldown from 14 to 10 to 14 to 12. I mean, this was your ability that you usually level up first. Sometimes you're 1, depending on what you want, and depending on game modes, of course. But usually it's your 3. It's the easiest... clear that you have from far away. You don't have to step up to the wave with your 1, and so that's usually what you level up first. So you're actually getting the benefits of the lower cooldown once you level it up a lot more, especially early. So it makes sense why they probably do this, but I don't think they needed to nerf this. Death Gaze, decreased damage per tick from 23 to 43 plus 15% scaling to 20 to 40. So at the end, once you level this up, you're losing 3 per tick, which he ticks over a lot, so it may not seem like a lot, but it's pretty big, or is bigger than you think it might be. 2% scaling decrease. I don't know if we really need to nerf Anubis's damage or DPS, considering with the cooldown rate, as that's kind of what he is. He's a damage dealer, and so I feel like if he's gonna be so free, where like, in his 1 he's barely movable, in his ult he doesn't move at all, so he's like the freest target you can just kill. I don't know, maybe he's making a move in Conk. I guess every dog has his day. He's back on the leash, a few nice buffs over previous patches, right to the top, so I'm guessing he's been really good in Conquest, but in Joust it's dog shit. Artemis, another one that's been, I always thought Artemis was pretty solid, and I guess just people have been taking advantage of that. Increased cooldown by 1 second in R3. That's on an 8-second cooldown. That's wild. 9 seconds is still pretty short as well. Ooh. Cerberus finally getting fucking nerfs, my god. And then boar damage decreased from 150 to 450 plus 100% scaling from 150 to 430. So 20 less damage once you leveled up to max. There's a fucking gnat. Oh my god, okay, 10% less scaling. That's actually pretty huge. I mean, Artemis was kind of I wouldn't say she's an ult bot, but that's kind of like her like bread and butter when it comes to setting up or peeling for herself, CC immunities, shit like that. So and on top of it, there's a lot of fucking damage. So It's not gonna change her too much. It's gonna make her a little bit less valuable though, but I still think she's a very solid god. Cerberus, my god, does this god do so much damage. He basically one-shots having a full tank build on squishies, and then obviously with his prot shred, building a few specific items on him, you can reduce people's protections by upwards of 100. So paralyzing spit, that's his one, decreased damage. This one does so much damage, 50 to 170 to 50 to 150. Now I'm thinking that this isn't going to do much. You either level up the 1 or the 2. Usually, depending on team comps, you level up the 2 if you don't think there's going to have a lot of interruption. You level up the 1 if you're better with hitting your 1 consistently. And they have a decent amount of interruption, meaning like stuns, mezzes, you know, shit like that, roots even. So it really depends. I usually level up the 2 anyways. But the 1 does so much fucking damage. 20 flat at the end is going to do a decent amount, but I still don't think it's going to be crazy, seeing as everything else that he has is still fucking disgusting. So it's a little bit of a nerf, but obviously if you're not leveling up first, it's not going to be impactful at all. But if you do level up the 1 first, you're gonna feel it a little bit as you level it up. But still, I mean, level 3, you're only losing 10. Where you get the 20 once you get to you level up the max. So I mean, it's a pretty decent nerf, but nothing crazy. Stygian, Torment, increased cooldown by 10 seconds. Now that's pretty big. That is pretty big. I mean, you build cooldown on him anyways, so it's not gonna be the craziest thing, but 10 seconds, especially when everyone else has been getting some hefty cooldown buffs, that's gonna make him a little less valuable. I still think he's gonna be a top pick though. What makes him disgusting is his damage, so this is going to be a little bit less, but I still think he's going to be your top pick with having, you know, all the other buffs that he's had. Tsukiyomi, increased cooldown from 12 to 14. He's kind of irrelevant in Joust for the most part. He can be played depending. Like, he's an okay assassin, but nothing crazy. So, but an extra 2 seconds on his 1 is kind of crazy. I mean, it was on a considerably small cooldown, so I'm not terribly surprised, but 2 seconds is pretty hefty. Decreased damage scaling from 20% to 15%. Yeah, okay, these are some pretty solid nerfs. It's going to make him way less valuable. He's still going to be doing a lot of damage, obviously, but 2 seconds, that's over time, that's a fuck ton of potential of you using your 1, so, and a little bit less damage in your 3. Mulan getting a nerf, my god. Okay, so I thought Mulan was like busted. Now she's like really fucking solid S tier. I'm thinking maybe, let's see. Decreased damage, this is for 2. Decreased damage from 100 to 240 to 90 to 230. So 10 damage overall, and then and grapple, increased cooldown from 15 to 13 to 16 to 14. So an extra second. So she got a lot of damage nerfs. She got her passive nerfed, and now she's giving even more damage and cooldown nerfs. So she's still going to be doing a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, but what is it, the 3rd or 4th nerf, not in a row, but you know, over this entire season? I think she's finally becoming a still a solid warrior, but not insane. Cooldown and damage definitely cuck her, especially with her buffs. Nerfs beforehand, we'll see. I think she's probably edging at S. Like, she's probably high A. Like, if I were to put, I'm gonna put A+ next tier list for anyone who cares, because I think there's gonna be a lot of difference in there. So I think Mulan is probably A+ at this point instead of being an S. Went from S+ down to A+, in my opinion. So that's all the nerfs. Oh, nerfs. Cerberus not being the craziest. Tsukiyomi has a pretty decent nerf. Mulan has a pretty decent nerf. And then I don't know why the fuck we nerfed Gooby. Buffs. Ishtar. Oh my god, we're buffing Ishtar so fucking much, dude. Before this nerf, I thought Ishtar was a sleeper, pretty solid hunter. Now, let's see. Mark of Vengeance. This is her passive. Increased max stacks from 4 to 6. If you don't know, I think if you go below 75% health on Ishtar, and you hit enemy gods, you get stacks of 5% attack speed, and it was 4, so you would get 20% attack speed if you hit them below 75%, I believe. And now you're getting up to 6 stacks, so I believe that's 30% attack speed. So you're getting an extra 10% attack speed in your passive, obviously, if you utilize it correctly. So an extra 10%, my god, Silver Branch is a thing that might be really good on your star. So gods that have like innate attack speed stims, whether it's in the passive or, you know, within their specific ability, like you know, Medusa 1 or even Izanami 1, you know, you can always look at Silver Branch as a potential option. Less on Medusa because there's better builds, but like, you know, like Izanami, Ishtar, Hachiman even with his 2. Rolling Thunder, increased damage from 50 to 150 plus 60 160. An extra 10 damage. You usually level up to 2, so you're going to feel that a lot more. And that does a surprising amount of damage without even building a lot of power. And then, oh my god, Blazer Retribution. Increased damage from 80 to 160 plus 80 to 180. An extra 20 power. My god. It scales up, obviously. 140, 155, 120, 130. I'm telling you, I think Ishtar is a sleeper pick, and I think she's probably one of the better hunters, especially seeing as I think a lot of the hunters that dominated the meta in Joust aren't really there anymore. Gods like, and I still think Uller is one of the best gods if you play him at a high level, but Uller has been not feeling great, even though he's got some buffs. I think Hachiman isn't doing as good, and Shibalanke, even though I think he's actually a lot better now. But, you know, some of those gods, some of your best hunters aren't doing as well, so I think Ishtar is going to be a pretty solid A+ type god. This is really good. Nut, finally getting some good buffs. Crashing Comet, that's our 2, increased damage from 45 to 125 plus 35% plus 50 to 150. Oh my gosh, she's getting an extra 25 power plus an extra 5% scaling. I will say that her 2 is kind of underwhelming, especially with the builds that you want to build her with, which is kind of just generally speaking AA, auto attack based. So, you know, with the low scaling, low damage, it just didn't feel great. So this kind of is nice. Warp decreased cooldown from 12 seconds to 12 to 10. My god. So that's pretty huge as well. She's gonna have that on a 2-second less cooldown, which means she can get away a lot more too, which is super nice. So there is that. Nut is a lot better now too. I think she's a solid hunter. I think people don't give her enough credit. I think she's a solid hunter. Hebo, the most irrelevant god. He's just too squishy, and with that, increased base health by 25 and health per level by 4 per level. So your overall, let's see, you're getting what, 4 times 20, so that's 80 extra health, which is pretty solid, on top of 25 extra health. So you're actually getting 105 extra health, which is pretty nice. Atlas of the Yellow River, decreased cooldown from 14 to 12, which is nice as well. We'll see if that does anything. He's gotten some other buffs too, but I don't think it's going to be that crazy. Merlin, increased damage per tick from 6 to 30 to 8 to 32. Doesn't seem like a lot, but extra 2 per tick is on his 1. It takes like every, what, 0.5 seconds or every 2.25 seconds? I don't know. But it does a lot of fucking damage. I think in his fire stance, he does the most DPS. Elemental Mastery, increased slow duration on ice stance from 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds. Nice, an extra 0.5. Nothing crazy though. This is a little bit, so it's okay. Nothing crazy, just a little bit. Hodin's getting a buff. My god, decreased cooldown from 16 to 12 to 14 to 12. So you don't level up your 1 anyway, so this is actually pretty good. You're just getting 2 seconds. It makes him even more safer. Okay, we're making him do that, I guess. You don't level this up anyway, so at least your first up. You usually level up your 3, 2, and then your 1. Your lunge is usually your last to level up. That's pretty huge. That's giant. Gungnir's Might, increased Gungnir damage from 55 to 275 to 60 plus 280. Okay, an extra 5 damage is pretty nice. That's I think this probably puts him back up to ban. Like I think he was already a really solid, not solid, really fucking good god, and I think this kind of pushes it. An extra 2 seconds on his 1. I mean, at the end of it, he's not going to be doing as much. Or at the once you leveled up to max, it's going to be the exact same way. But early, I mean, that's disgusting. And extra damage on Gungnir on his 3, so that's pretty sick. He's super fucking gross. Achilles, my god, we won't stop fucking buffing him. And I understand why, because he's not the greatest in Conquest, but is this the 10th, 11th, 12th buff he's gotten? Gift of the Gods, increased protection per level from 1.5 to 2, so you're getting an extra 0.5, which is nice, amazing. Radiant Glory, that's his 2. Increased heal from 15 to 27 to 18 to 30. Oh my god, an extra 3 overall. 3 healing overall. That's really fucking good as well. Achilles, still don't think he's going to be your top ban, but a ban contender. S plus, not S plus, S tier pick, I think. Ganesha. Oh my god, he's getting a huge buff. Turn of Fate, increased bonus damage per stack from 2% to 3, and decreased max stacks from 5 to 4. I believe the amount of god/enemies you hit, I believe you do get you do give your team bonus damage per stack. So initially it'd be 2 times 5 if you hit 5. So you get an extra 10% bonus damage to your team. Now they reduce the stack by 1 and increase the damage per stack by 3. So it's actually, you're getting 10% before, now you're getting 12% now, which is an extra 2% with the ability to stack easier, which is really nice. Which is his 2, Ganesha now gains an additional 50% of protection he provides. Okay, wow. They're just adding a whole ass stat. If you don't know, Ganesha in his 2, when you somebody, you do give protections to your teams. It didn't give it to you, but now you give 50% of the protections to yourself. Increase self-slow from 15% to 25%. I think that's kind of a nerf. So you're actually slower 10% more. I guess because you're getting more protections, they want to do like a little bit of a caveat. So that one kind of blows a little bit. Overall, I think it's better though. Remove obstacle, that's just 3. Decrease mana cost from 90 to 70 at all ranks. So that's actually pretty nice. So pretty solid buffs for the elephant. That's actually really nice. Sylvanas, increased C duration from 8 to 10 seconds. Another one where, you know, they changed his passive several times. Where you pick it up, you reduce cooldown by 0.5 seconds. I think once you get level 15, you get 1 second every time you pick these up. And it reduces your mana as well. This is just going to allow your seeds to stay on the map 2 seconds longer so you can pick it up. Pick it up more frequently without it disappearing. Nature's Grasp, decreased cooldown from 14 to 12 to 14 to 10, which is pretty good overall. 2 seconds once you finish it off, once you level up to max, but initially you're not going to feel it as much. So but that's pretty solid though, so I'll take that. Daji getting a little bit of a buff, increased damage per tick from 10 to 50 to 20 to 50. So I mean, overall, this does help because early game you're gonna be doing a lot more damage. But I mean, I level up the 1 to max first anyway, so it's not gonna be the craziest thing. Once you level it up all the way, it's gonna be the exact same. But the early levels, the early level damage you're definitely gonna feel, which is pretty good. And that's it. Finally, almost said Cleana. Flickering Visions, increased debuff duration from 4 seconds to 5, which is nice. An extra second allows you to have that debuff for a little bit longer. Tearing the Veil now deals 25% reduced damage to minions. Okay, I see what they're doing. Let's see. Decreased cooldown from 55 seconds to 55 to 30. Oh my! She's gonna have her ult every 35 seconds, and that's of course if you're not considering the fact that you build cooldown on her. You're gonna have this up like every 25 seconds. That's a little ridiculous. The reason why they reduced damage to minions is because, you know, she's very obviously good at clearing minions with her ult, and clears an entire wave. You get 2 parts of you get 2 tearing of the veil ults. So you have 2 charges. So you would, and then they were on a 55-second cooldown. So, you know, it was a pretty short cooldown. You didn't really do too much. You use it and you'd on the wave if you needed it, and then you'd have it back up. overall, the 25% reduced damage minions is not going to do much. If anything, this is the biggest thing. You're going to get an extra fucking 15 seconds off. No, 20 seconds off. My God. I don't even think they need to do this because you're going to have this up every 20 seconds with cooldown 25 seconds. That's pretty fucking big. So that is this is really nice. Not gonna do much in Joust, but in Conquest that'll be really, really good. So that's it overall. So no items actually. Overall, the biggest buffs here. This one's a pretty solid buff. Obviously, these ones are solid. Ganesha had a big buff. These are some big buffs for him. Achilles is a pretty solid buff. Odin, pretty big buffs. Merlin was an okay buff. Pivo, okay. Nut, solid. Ishtar got a pretty big buff. That's really big. I think she's going to be probably... I think she's up there as a contender for top 5. I think she's super underrated. This one's a pretty big buff considering that she's gotten nerfed. Or, I'm sorry, nerfs. A pretty big nerf considering that Mulan's been nerfed several times over the past like 7 patch notes. Nothing crazy here. Cerberus got a kind of a slap on the wrist in my opinion. You're gonna feel it a little bit, but still top pick. Artemis, nothing crazy, and then Anubis got a pretty decent nerf considering the fact that I don't think he needed it. But that might just be my Joust brain. I'm not entirely sure for Conquest. But that is it. A lot of god buffs and nerfs. We'll see how this affects the meta. Thinking specific gods you want to pay attention to are gonna be in terms of not shifting your focus elsewhere. Is probably gonna be Cerberus. No, I'm sorry, Mulan. Mulan's gonna be your biggest one. Cerberus, I think you're gonna be picking him all the time. Mulan, you're gonna shift your focus elsewhere. I think you need to focus on Ishtar, Nut a little bit, Odin, Achilles, Ganesh, and that's basically it. Those are your guys you're gonna want to pay attention to for opposite reasons. But yeah, tell me what you guys think about the bonus balance. Tell me what you think they could have done or done better, or what you want to see. Wasn't anything too crazy outside of Guardians being disgusting in Joust, but they're never going to fix that. So I think maybe a Cthulhu nerf would have been good too, but that's neither here nor there. We'll see what they do in 11.10. I haven't posted my tier list. I'm going to be posting that soon though. I was waiting for these bonus balance to go live, but I think that's everything that I have for you. If you want to join the Discord, I have a Discord open. If you'd like to join it, it's in the description down below. One of the best ways to contact me and reach me, ask questions and stuff like that. Better than YouTube comments, as I can get to it right away. If you like the video, like, comment, and subscribe. I have memberships open for $2.99 a month. One of the best ways to support me if you do like my content, but obviously not necessary, as you simply watching my videos is good enough for me. But that's everything that I have for you. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching.